big things happening for the softball team, bud. Big things happening over here. Yeah. So number one, there's been a name change. What was our name before? Something with Waldorf Ford.
Yeah.
I don't. Something with Waldorf Ford. Something. I think that was it.
Yeah. Waldorf
So
Ford.
we're no longer associated. The relationship is terminated. It's over.
Oof.
We are now. Drum roll, please. I think the power outage, or just maybe power outage. I don't know which one it is, but hey, we're power outage, and we're here to play softball.
Nice. New name.
It's exciting.
Are you guys
new
doing well?
New jerseys, new name. So let's put it this way: we have a lot of new faces on the squad. We've been pulling in some better. We had to replace you. Not easy to do.
Thank you.
So big shot, much love.
Thank you.
I'm playing. And I played second, so we'll talk about that as well. That was nice. Me and JG getting to be next to each other. It was very nice. Softball jerseys, new jerseys, couple new faces, man. First, we've only had 2 games. A lot of rain down here. A lot of rain. It's not, so we've only had 2 matchups. Our first matchup, we played. I don't know if you remember the squad, but they have like those 3 guys that like baseball players, and they just they play like shortstop, second, and like left center, of course, like you know what I mean.
Mm-hmm.
And they can rope the ball. They smoked us. Actually, they didn't smoke us, but it wasn't bad. But anywho, yeah, games Monday night, bro. We're coming into it. We're gonna have a good time. Everyone's feeling better about the season, dude. First, we mercied them first game, bro. Come on with the mercy.
Wow, you go, boys.
The bats were digging. Boys were hitting bombs, bro. It was one of the best. It looked like we knew how to play softball. It was so great. It was so great.
I'm gonna come around. You boys can keep a group together.
Yeah. The core, like we've got the core, and we're just adding some pieces, and but everyone's bats are coming to life and stuff like that, man. It was a lot of fun. We had a lot of fun playing. Yeah. So mercy the first game, and the second game was close, but it was like a good back and forth, man. Like a couple runs each inning. And then we ended up sealing the deal, got locked out both dubs for the night, bro. First time in team history.
Well, I'm glad it's going better than when I was there.
Yeah, it's more fun.
That's all that matters. Because even if we were losing and having fun, I would have been okay with it. But we weren't.
Yeah. Well, yeah. So it's definitely more fun.
Fucking people leaving in the middle of the game, fucking being like cussing. I'm not on your fucking softball team anymore. Don't come to my parties. Oh, Jesse said you're a loser. You're not invited to his birthday party. Fuck, man. Miss softball. Bunch of drunk white boys after baseball field.
Man, but anywho, it's going great.
That's dope.
The squad we got's fun, man.
Are the jerseys tight?
Oh yeah, bro. The power outage,
like lightning bolts on them.
Yeah, it's really cool. And I've just been coming up with like terrible dad jokes about power.
We're about to light you up.
I was like, we're with the power company because we're shutting the power off. Like,
I wouldn't be able to keep it together. I'd be on fucking second base. Go ahead, Big J. I'm coming in.
Yeah, just the dumbest shit. Yeah. Blow some fuses. Power outage.
Nice.
But yeah, man.
Well, good to hear that the softball team has got their shit together. Shout out to the new sponsor and the new swag. That's awesome.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. I know the boys will appreciate that. A couple tune-ins, so it's nice, man. And the boys will appreciate some love, so it's coming along. But how was your weekend? What's going on with you?
Bro, my weekend was fun. It was my girl's 30th. So we got a couple of her besties and her sister together with their significant others, and got a little Airbnb up in the woods, a little cabin joint. Fucking fat.
Yes, I've seen the IG. Yeah,
there's like no heating unit. Like the floors are just all stone and heated, and every single floor.
What
room? It was.
Mountain life is different, bro.
It was tight though. I enjoyed it. We were fucking fire going, playing cornhole all fucking night at jacuzzi. It was sick. It was real sick.
Beautiful.
I had a great time. Yeah, we're in Ellicottville, which is apparently like a little destination for like bridal parties and stuff, because we went into town one evening and went to Ellicottville Brewery. That's the beer we actually drink from the grocery
right
store. And it was popping. There's bridal parties everywhere. Geez.
Oh, really?
Yeah, crazy white
women. I wonder why that's did they tell you why that's like a hot spot?
No, I guess because it's like mountain-esque and like, it's got a small
yeah.
town where it's like a bunch of bars. You can walk down Main Street. You know,
Yeah, Main Street.
it's like
Couple beds.
Nashville, but like not on heroin and crack like Nashville. You know, as far
Yeah.
as like hype level and white women
Just
everywhere
couple-
screaming.
Couple doses of mimosas. You know.
No walls with angel wings or a line of white girls standing in front of us. But,
yes.
no, good times. It was really dope. It was only an hour away from me, and I'm in Buffalo, so it was tight to drive only an hour, but yet be up in the mountains and away from shit, and then
That's cool.
drive home Sunday. We're boom back home.
Yeah.
In the breeze, chilling. Yeah. So my weekend was tight, man. It was real laid back. It's the first time since I started my own company that I've taken a break. Like longer than 24 hours, and it was killing me. It really was, because I just wanted to be there, but I was like I need to do this. I need to take a little break from it. So now I'm back on the grind. It feels like I'm fucking playing catch up from the weekend. But
isn't that crazy, dude?
Yeah. But that's the way the cookie crumbles. So
yeah, it just gets away. Like that time stuff is crazy, but it's good to step away. You know, cool to Jets, hang out with the family. It's important. It really is.
Exactly. Yeah. So I had a blessed weekend. How was your weekend?
Good, dude. It was good, man. It was just the little brunchy brunch, you know.
Oh, did you?
Like the brunch.
Fucking brunch king.
Yeah, like the girls, like old ladies been wanting to go to brunch, and who am I to say no? Like,
I thought you were about to say something else. You were about to say the old ladies. I was like, oh God, where's this going?
Nothing like that Sunday church crowd.
Hey girl, hey Betty, how you doing? That's what's up.
Yeah, so we got to brunch. Couple, you know, you remember the breakfast margarita? I know I've talked about the breakfast margarita before. Yeah. So it's the Charles that has it. You know, I had it again. You know, maybe I was just living on. I don't know. Maybe I was just too impressed the first time, but.
That's how it works sometimes. They're like, the first time you have something, you're like, this is amazing. And then you go back to get that gas station hot dog and you're like, maybe this isn't as amazing as I thought it was. And I was just,
what a comparison. This glizzy not the same.
This ain't going down right. Yo, chill. You know we can't talk about hot dogs on this show.
That was so good.
Oh, I'm sweaty now.
No, I You said I'm sweaty. I got the glizzy sweats. I got that.
A microphone. I didn't Riddler. Oh fuck.
Oh my god. That got me.
All right, I'm done.
Lord child. Oh my god, they got me, because I know I hit a cackle in there. Oh shit.
Oh, I remember back in the day, like in college. At college, I knew nobody, so I was like obviously not like fully expressing myself like I do with the boys. And we're like sitting smoking like after class one night, you know, a couple buddies in the dorm, and I like someone chirped me about my laugh one time, and the rest of the time I was at school, like I'd laugh and I'd like try to keep it under car, like my talk. I would like laugh at myself. Oh, that's funny as shit.
Oh man.
Oh yeah,
dude, I let the laugh go, man. I've got so many. Like it depends on how it catches me. Like if something, just the way something hits me controls my laugh, dude.
Mine are terrible. I laughed on the ice today. Somebody said something and I laughed so hard it was like a hyena, and everyone just looked at me like, what's going on? I'm at center ice just laughing my ass off.
Oh my god, now I just got the gigs.
It's a blessing and a curse.
This is the Men Behind the Mitts podcast. Hosted by Big J. And now, here's your favorite Buttes.
What are we talking about?
Hot dogs.
Oh yeah, the drink. The drink.
Breakfast. Yeah.
Nah, not the same. Not oh shit, the hot dogs. Oh, that was so good, man. Okay, yeah, the breakfast margarita wasn't as good. Yeah, and I get it. Like I think you're right. You know, maybe it made my expectations were too high. You know, I don't know. But you know, switch the. I mean, can't go wrong with the Bloody Mary. Extra spicy, olive, pickle, bacon, jalapeno.
Have you had that? Have you made? You're probably gonna make it yourself, but have you made a pink Whitney mimosa yet?
No, I haven't. Yeah, but what I did do, we do need to get on that. What I did do though is I put pink Whitney with tea the other day.
Sweet tea?
Pretty that's pretty damn good.
Yeah, it's like an Arnold Palmer but spicy.
Yeah. Little Arnie Palm.
Yeah, little Arnie Palm. Yeah.
Right here. This one's got the extra vodka, honey. One of my good.
We could call that an Arnie Wit. Are we gonna call
Arnie
that Arnie
Wit? Yeah, it sounds right.
Pink Arnie.
Pink Arnie. Ooh, I like the pink
Arnie. Oh, you heard it here first, assholes. Pink Arnie.
Pink Arnie. I like that. I'm hip with that, dude. Yeah. But no, so just brunched in, killed the food, Brussels sprouts, steak and eggs.
Did they have bacon with the Brussels sprouts?
And this, it was more like it was an Asian vinaigrette of some sorts, like a soy sauce vinaigrette. It was delicious.
On the
like
sprouts?
The spin on it was good. And then I had some steak and eggs, potatoes. Oh yeah, you know, put the hammer down. She got the chicken and waffles. Had a waffle, delicious. I mean, just outstanding. I do love. Brunch is back, man. Summer's back. Brunch is back. Such an exciting time of the year.
Yep, it's also that time of the year where hanging out on your fucking front porch, back porch, whatever it may be. It's all night. Just God, I'm at the point now like. I can see it. Like I need a TV outside wherever I live because sitting out back with a like fire or something or a pit and then watching hockey, I wouldn't leave the fucking backyard. I wouldn't.
Yeah. So I agree. In my backyard, like I got to put the fire pit back there, but I don't know if I'll put a TV in the backyard, but I'm putting one in the garage because how much we shoot pucks all the time. So I'm like, it only makes sense to just have a TV out here. We put on whatever, and then we do have people over, whatever. And I think it's nice to work out, like have like something hooked up to it.
Yeah, you can run your laptop or something. Well, nowadays you can just stream from your phone. It connects via Wi-Fi. If it's connected, and you just play YouTube, whatever. So, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I'm gonna hook it up out there, dude. It definitely needs to happen. But yeah, I'm big on that, and I love my back porch in the garage. It's like two of my favorite things. I mean, just chilling, dude. So nice.
I love being outside. That's one of the things I did this weekend. Like I woke up, I got my coffee, little smoking dope, and just chilling, listening to the nature, just listening to nature, and just
I bet it was beautiful up there.
It was the first time ever. I had never had a day fire. We got a fire going. At 1 o'clock. I mean, it wasn't cold, but you're in the mountains. We're chilling outside. Why not? Day fire going. Yeah, it was nice. So a lot of bonfire, a lot of
I'm a big fan of that. I get sometimes I get gassed out, like I'm like the smoke, but you got a good fire burn. It's not too bad. But yeah, man, I enjoy. I love it being outside. Like that was when we went skiing up that little cabin, man. Just having the bonfire that one night, dude. It was so dope. I just hung out outside. Like it was like 30 some degrees in Pennsylvania. Just standing outside. Yeah. Like it's so dope. It's a good time to just like decompress with that. Take it all in. There's something about fire too. There's something about fire and man. And just when you look at that fire, there's like instincts. You know what I mean?
I've read an article or something and was saying that like staring at fire does something for you. And it makes sense because think about it. For centuries, man would just sit around a fire for centuries. That has to play some type of mental role in evolution as far as human beings. Like we're always been around a fire for warmth, cooking, everything. So you're sitting there just staring at it. There's no TVs. There weren't cell phones to look down at. So makes sense.
That's where knowledge was passed. Sitting around the fires back then, everyone after a hunt or something, you're learning a lesson. You know what I mean? Like you didn't, like you said, there was no phones, and a lot of people didn't have books and stuff like that. So that's why I mean it's very like you said, it's instinctual when you look at that. I think they call it fire gazing because I've read about it before as well.
I think it is called fire gazing.
Yeah, like I was just there's something about it, right? I just get caught just in the dance almost, like in the flow of it. It's wild how you can get lost in the sauce on fire, bro.
Yeah, for me, definitely the flames, but also underneath they're like ambers, the stuff that's
because you just watch it like
bright red pulsating, and you're just like this thing's it's technically alive, right? You could say that like it's alive, like this is a breathing thing, like it's pretty insane fire just in general. Man,
I'm so glad you shared that because I was thinking that, but I didn't know. Like I was like, I think I'm crazy talking about embers. Like like and I should have just said it. Why am I hiding?
I don't
going on?
know. Don't hide your
But,
life.
I forgot that was only 5 minutes ago.
You're like, oh yeah, last episode we talked. Nope.
Yeah, I could have thought that was 3 episodes ago.
Oh, fuck.
Oh
I
man.
guess we're supposed to talk about hockey now.
Wait, yeah, talk about something else you got in the mail.
Oh, we got in the mail.
Yeah.
Anthony, if you guys aren't familiar, from bladetech was on 2 episodes ago, 47.
Yep.
And we were talking about the blades from bladetech, and he did us a solid, shot us over some blades to review. I already made a video on how to install them if you're installing them yourself and don't have a quick trigger. Yeah, so I got a video coming for that. I got them sharpened today. Pure Hockey in Buffalo took care of me. Shout out to them. They're familiar with them. They knew what to do, gave me tips what to do with black steel. And then I skated them. First and foremost, the difference in height alone, I felt like fucking Zdeno Chara today. I felt so fucking tall. So there's so many different, not so many, but there's the perks and the positives that come along with these blades, the speed, things like that. The thing that I noticed the most on my first skate was it doesn't take as much effort. So it's helping in there. So I wasn't as fatigued as quickly. I felt like I had legs for days. Another guy on the bench said something to me. He's like, man, you're fucking flying today. So I don't know if it was like a mind trick thing, knowing I got these blades on and I was just playing well, or it was those. But so far, so good for the first skate. These bladetech blades, you don't really feel the pop like people think. Oh, it moves.
Okay,
it moves.
Good to know.
Yeah, you don't really feel that. And when I was warming up, I focused more on my skating instead of hands. Like I normally just warm up my hands, and like to find themselves. But yeah, I was like, getting low, doing sprinter starts to kind of see what the edges felt like. They were great, dude. They were great. Everything I did with them. I didn't really get to put too much of a profile on yet, so I think I'm at like a 10. Whereas like a 9 would be more like agility wise, stopping, starting, and then you go up higher, 11, 13, you're gonna have more glide because there's more blade touching. So I think right now I'm at a 9 as far as profile, the radius. Okay. But no, they felt great, dude. I was flying. I had a 1/2 inch cut on them on the hollow.
Did you go V? So you went standard?
Yeah. I've been doing the standard, just 1/2 inch on them. 1/2 inch obviously takes, if you're not too familiar, the 1/2 inch takes a lot more effort to dig into, to get you going. But I like the way it feels because, I get down low in the corners, I'm dangling, I'm making moves. So I want to be able to stop and pivot and go quickly.
Right.
But yeah, no, these blades are awesome, dude. For me, my first always comparison are the pros using it? Like that's my thing.
Right.
These guys are the best of the best, so they're only going to use the best of the best to give themselves an advantage.
Right.
So the fact that the New York Islanders and Ovi and Nicky had all used these blades before, I was like, all right, it's worth a shot. The Islanders still to this day still rocking them. You're gonna love them when you put them on.
Cool. Yeah.
If people are not familiar, go check out bladetech Hockey. bladetechhockey.ca is the website, or at bladetech Hockey on Instagram and Facebook. They'll give you the rundown, the show. Everyone's running these blades. They're This is the next thing. 5.5% increase in speed, folks. 25% less. I think it's like friction on your knees and impact and stuff. And then the blades are so much stronger. And this is the real test I'm going to put them through. Is you don't need to get, because they're so strong steel. You don't have to get them sharpened. Anthony told us on the episode 47 that a pro who gets a sharpened after morning skate, in between periods, went 4 whole skates. It's 2 morning skates, 2 full games without sharpening. The manager, the equipment manager said. Man. Yeah, so I'm putting that through the ringer as well. So I'll talk about them again in a couple weeks. I'm skating again Friday. By next time we record and stuff, I'll have a couple skates under it. But I'm excited to see what you have to say about them too, because we're 2 different playing styles differently. Yeah, different stride. Might have a longer stride. All these things. So I'm interested to see what you think of them. But I think you're gonna like them as well.
Cool, man. I'm really excited. Yeah, I just got them. They look beautiful, man. I'm really excited. I'm gonna do a video for the quick. So yours aren't quick release. Yours are a screw in.
Yep, it's all whole thing. I pull the cap with the.
Well, then we'll talk about that, because then I'll do a video for the quick release, and we can just edit. We'll edit.
Yeah, we'll put them together.
We'll do we'll do that.
A YouTube.
All right, so I'll get that. Yeah, I'll get that filmed up. But yeah, I'm really excited. They're beautiful, man. And they sent some slides over too.
Yeah, got some slides.
Need some RINK slides. I love another pair of garage slides in there. They're awesome, man. bladetech got the dope logo with the lace front on that. It's so cool, man. Yep. Big shout out to Anthony, dude.
Yeah, huge
definitely hooked us up on that. Looking forward to putting them on, man. Everyone that's used them has said positive things, so I can't wait to see where it takes me. Even if it's 5%. Like
they sent us those cards. Obviously, they sent us a few for a reason, and sure enough, I put them in the bag and was already telling the boys, because especially with us skating, we're beer leaguers. We have a couple older guys with us and stuff. Regardless how good they are, they obviously have been put their body through some things. So even as far as like older guys, like you don't have to be adding these blades because you're trying to get performance out. Right. This is going to help with your knees and stuff. I had actually the guy that was most interested was my buddy Dangler, who's playing D3 hockey right now. Is like, dude, that sounds awesome for my knees. A younger guy was saying. Right. So, you older guys listening, check them out for yourselves too. This is going to help you maybe create some longevity for your body and increase I keep wanting to say horsepower. Increase that horsepower.
Increase your human power just a little bit,
Yeah,
just
you got a little more human power. You got a little human.
Oh God, man. I'm all over the place on this podcast. I can't. I still haven't recovered from laughing so hard.
Talking about hot dogs, we'll do that.
Bladetech Blades. Big shout out to Anthony. It was an awesome episode 47. Check it out, guys. A lot of knowledge and just fun to talk to, man. Anthony's a beaut. So definitely check out that episode. On
for Instagram Live here soon with the I'm excited to see him again and talk to him. So we'll talk more with him about that. And by that time, definitely have skated him. So that'll be a good talk. Yep. That'll definitely be a good talk. I'm excited.
For sure, man. All right, let's go ahead and change gears and hop into the NHL. We'll get you guys caught up real fast. We got a lot going on. A couple teams clinched, a couple teams moving some big spots. We got a lot to talk about in the East, some stuff going on in the Central, the North, and it looks to me like the West is almost locked up. We got a little bit to talk about there with St. Louis and Minnesota, but playoffs are inching closer, folks. 10 to 8 games left in the season for most of these teams. So where are we going to start out, man?
Let's start with the Central, huh? The Central. Cool. Let's start with the Central. The Central Division has already clinched a playoff spot. Only one team, which, by the way, I just want to make a statement here about these teams we're going to talk about in each division that have clinched. The East have no one. And that just right there lets you know, folks, that the East is the best division. I don't care what no one says. Everyone's talking about Vegas, Colorado, the West, the best division. If that was the best division, they wouldn't be clinched right now. That means 4, 5, 6 would still be battling, and it's anybody's game. The fact that they clinched, I feel like, you're right. Wouldn't you agree?
I agree. Yeah. I agree. You nailed it right there. Because that's a debate I had with someone the other day. I was like, this is just proving how hard and tough the division is. It's everyone's
so
on
tight.
Anything.
Everyone's so tight. If it's a blow in, the top 3 teams are clinched already. Like, oh, okay.
Yeah, do you want to be in a division where your number 1 team could give up right now and still clinch with 8 games left? Like, what does that mean?
Yeah, we have a playoff like atmosphere already in the East. Already, that's an advantage for us going into it. But so Central, Carolina Hurricanes are in first place right now and have clinched a playoff spot. They have 48 games played. They're 31-10-7 with 69 points. They're the real deal. They're a plus 38. I honestly have enjoyed watching the Carolina Hurricanes play. I mean, not just because
it's tough to say.
Not just because of the teams they're playing are also really good, like Tampa and Florida, who we're going to touch on, but because the team has so much skill in different aspects. I mean, you got the young kid Niche, number 88. He's always involved. Aho, everybody, they're getting it throughout. Svechnikov, like this is a good team, and Mrazek and net looks like a.
I was going to say their goaltending is definitely helping this squad. I mean, they got 3 tenders that they've rotated through this season, and all 3 of them are having excellent seasons. And this is what it takes to get to the playoffs and secure a spot this early. I think that's a big deal for them.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, Aho, the league leaders, the team leaders, I'm sorry, on the Carolina Hurricanes, Sebastian Aho with 46 points, Trocheck with 39, tied with Dougie Hamilton. 39 points. That's huge. Dougie Hamilton. I said Nietzsche earlier, by the way. It was Neek. It's Neekus. But Neekus is tied with Aho in assists with 26. That's also huge. And then Aho's leading the team with goals with 20. Trocheck with 17 and Niederreiter with 17. Like I said, these guys are playing great hockey, bro. Mrazek is 1.60 save percentage or goals against. I'm sorry. So, yeah, they've got a good team. They've got a good team, and I like their chances because this team hasn't changed too much. These are still the same guys that have been battling the last few years, and they've looked good in the playoffs. They really turn it up.
Yeah, they're definitely been a powerhouse, and I mean, there's a reason why they're clinching. This is a tough division too. It's not like what we talked about in the West. This Central division is a little tough, and here's a great example. Coming in second right now, Florida Panthers are right behind them. Talk about another scary squad, bro. Barkov, I've enjoyed watching the Florida Panthers play, and we knew it was coming because they've been that team that just needed a couple puzzle pieces for the last 2 to 3 years. Remember that? Like when Markov first got on there and started coming alive, it's like they're going to be dangerous soon enough.
Yeah, and the fact that Ekblad took that fucking injury and they're still like dominant the way they are. And then I think Florida Panthers have some of the most underrated players in the entire NHL, Barkov being one, but also Jonathan Huberdeau, 36 assists, 52 points on the season. He's leading the team and doesn't get the spotlight I think he deserves. Also Barkov, 49, and then Verhaeghe, 35 points with 17 goals. That's huge. Florida's top goal scorer 22, Barkov. This team is fun to watch. Most impressively though has been Anthony Duclair. His plus minus is unreal. I think the last 5 games he's a plus 14 or something like that. And that just goes to show you, he might not be lighting up the net, but that means he's smart positionally. He's not getting beat. He's playing. He's back checking. He's a great hockey player, and it's really starting to show. I've been a big fan of him everywhere he's bounced around from. I knew he was coming. To see him blossoming now and on a team like the Florida Panthers is huge. And the signing of Quenneville is just looking so good. I was pushing during the offseason for Buffalo to sign him because I knew what he could do for an organization. Look what he did with Florida. What he did with Florida. No one thought Florida would be this good.
Yep.
It's
and again,
unreal.
And something we touched on earlier too. It's goaltending as well, man.
Yeah.
Bobrovsky and Drager back there having hell of a season, bro. And I mean, Bob's a mental case, but the guy can play some puck still. So I mean that's something that's going to carry this team through as well. Having that veteran presence back there, and they're going to be scary. And I'm excited to watch where this goes.
Yeah, and they just added, just signed now that college NCAA is over. Spencer Knight from Team USA World Junior Championship gold medal. Goaltender just came in, won his first game. He's 1-0 with a .971 save percentage and a 1-0 goals against. So they not only have great goaltending now, they have a great goaltender that's coming up. So Florida could potentially be good for years to come.
Absolutely, dude. And coming up in third place right now, we got Tampa Bay Lightning with 66 points, nipping right there. Florida not locked in. This third place, man, they do have quite a gap here on the fourth place. Preds, 56 points. But like we said, there's plenty of games left to make a difference here. But Tampa Bay, man, talk about a scary squad. And their rings. Have you seen their rings? We didn't get to talk about their rings.
Their rings are fucking sick. The box that came in with the video, like bro, how much money goes into just the display box? It has a fucking it's ridiculous. If you haven't seen it, folks, go Google that shit. It's sick.
Yeah, but hats off to them, though.
Yeah, I thought the Caps Stanley Cup ring was dope, but the Tampa Bay Lightning one was pretty dope. They got real creative with it. I like it. But hey, the battle for fourth, the last spot in the Central to make the playoffs, is going to be tight, folks. I was watching all the games last night. Nashville putting up a dub, but so did Dallas. Jamie just tied Mike Modano for franchise overtime goals with 9. He went back-to-back games with the overtime game winner. Dallas is really making the push. Tyler Seguin is practicing. Things could start to turn around. Their young rookie Robertson is a stud. He made the fucking game winning pass. They got the apple on that one to Ben. This is going to be a tight race. You got Nashville at 56 points, Dallas at 54, but Nashville's played 50 games compared to Dallas's 48, so they're behind. And then right under them, it's possible they could still make a push. Chicago, they've only played 48 games, and they're sitting at 49 points. They need to win out, essentially, but it's still possible. The bottom 3 after Carolina haven't clinched yet, so it's a tight race in the Central. I think after that, Detroit at 42 and Columbus at 40 be a large stretch. But listen, 5 games, 10 points, that put them at, I think Columbus is officially out. I think that actually has already happened. They're officially eliminated from the playoffs.
Let's talk between me and you, Dallas or Nashville. Who's going to make that cut? If it was, don't think about Chicago. Don't think about Chicago.
Yeah, Nashville. If it's just coming down to those two, which it looks like it's going to happen, Nashville has looked good. I watched them play the other night.
I got Dallas. They're just coming to life.
I know they are, but here's the thing: they've been so inconsistent. They should have been doing this a lot sooner, and I think they're feeling the pressure. So now they're starting to turn it on, but it could be too little, too late. Nashville's the same way though, but they've got the little bit of gap on them, 56 to 54. It's not much, but they're in there, so they can play with a different type of confidence.
For sure,
it's really going to come down to scheduling. I mean, if Nashville has to, I don't know all these schedules. Obviously, we're not that in depth with them. But let's say hypothetically Nashville plays Detroit, then Columbus, and then Detroit. And then Dallas has to play Florida and Carolina.
Right.
That's a whole nother fucking conversation just based off schedule alone, right?
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens. But Nashville, as of last night when I watched them play, they looked really good. So we'll see what happens. Ryan Johansson, he's looking like a stud.
True.
Forsberg, all of them. Yeah. So tough trade, Caps.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll see what happens. Don't talk about it. Before we leave the Central Division, go to the next one. We won't make this a long hockey talk because we have a great interview coming up. But what's going to happen in Columbus? Is the John Tortorella era over?
I think it's out. Yeah, I think he's out, man. I think
because
he's
going to be a restricted free agent. I think Seth Jones or somebody. Columbus fans don't get mad. I don't know for sure, but I think they got a few guys that are going to be coming up on contract deals. And if things haven't been going well because of the coach, these guys are going to be entertaining other options just for that. Yeah. So I think as the GM, you have to consider that. Listen, the guy comes in, he turns teams around and gets them to win. But after the first few seasons, after he gets them to turn around and start committing, which we saw, they looked real.
Oh my God.
Oh, earthquake.
All right. That was wild.
That was we're going to charge people for that. That's a ride. Can you still hear me? I might keep going.
Yeah, wrap it.
All right, yeah. What I was going to say is once Tortorella's in there for a few seasons and he's turned them around, like we saw, they battled the Caps in the playoffs in 2018. They looked like a good team. They had a chance. They looked good with Cam Atkinson, Foligno. These guys are dwindling down now. They're going out. I think Tortorella is gone. I really do.
Yeah,
I really do. I don't know who they'll pick up as far as coaching to bring in, but somebody that's a lot more relatable and easier to work with the younger crowd. I think it's a young man's game now. That hard-nosed coaching isn't really working. Obviously you got to put hard-nosed when you need to. Every coach is, but the constant, not even going to give you a pat on the back for a good job type shit isn't going to work anymore.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, I agree, man. Let's jump out to the West real quick. We'll touch on these clinch teams. I mean, we got the 3 top teams here in clinch. Oh, Minnesota did clinch today.
Yeah,
was that yesterday?
I think it was yesterday. Clinch. Yeah.
So Vegas was the first team to clinch out West. Colorado following them second. So Vegas has got 70 points. Colorado with 66. 2 of the scariest teams coming out of the West right there. I mean, look, we said they're clinched. We're not, we talk a little shit on the division maybe, but look, these are 2 scary teams that have some powerhouse players, man. Mark Stone, Pacioretty for Vegas Knights, Robin Leonard, as their goaltender, bro. This is a solid squad in Vegas. They're a scary squad. Yeah, wow. Flowery, how do you feel about that guy? Oh, we gotta touch. We gotta touch on Leonard later, talking about COVID policies in the NHL. I'm glad a player finally spoke out. So it's a big deal.
That was a very interesting. That took a lot of guts because cancel culture, I thought, was gonna be all over him. And especially being a white man. Hey, it's unfortunately it's got to be said like that because it's hard nowadays for people to voice their opinion just based off looks. They don't care what you have to say. So shout out to him for saying what he had to say. We'll come back on that. 3rd place Minnesota, 65 points, clinched a playoff spot already. Listen, that 65 points to Colorado's 66 is no joke. Minnesota's up there and arguably a team that could beat Colorado. Kirill Kaprizov alone has arguably brought this team to the next level, not to mention Greenway, Fiala. They got Zook over there. They've got some talent. These guys are playing good. Zach Parise still on that squad. He's a fucking American-born stud. So this team is good. It's going to be a battle for 4th, just like Central, though. St. Louis at 48, in 5th place, Arizona for 47, 6th place, San Jose at 43, 7th place, Los Angeles Kings at 42. Arguably could make a spot. I mean, 4 wins and they're at that 48.
They're right there, yeah.
Right. So the West is going to be a tight one to run. The fact that the top 3 teams ran away so quickly, though. Right. So 20-point gap. That's huge. It's going to be interesting when Anaheim at the bottom with 35. Zegras is back in the AHL the last fucking month. I don't know what the fuck is going on out there. The guy.
He's clowning down there. It's ridiculous. I watched the highlights from the goals, and he's toying with them.
That has to be the issue, though. The maturity.
Yeah.
It's
is one thing to know this guy just having fucking fun.
I think it's a combination. I think in his mind, he's just doing his thing. He's having fun. He's good at hockey. He's having fun doing it. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, I think they kind of want to keep it tight in a bag in the perfect lines because you're a pro representation of
Right.
the organization type of deal. They
I
don't.
don't know. This is the future of hockey, bro. Like,
Yeah,
just, they
I
got to
agree.
start letting this. They got to start letting
Personality.
this stuff go. Yeah, man.
Yeah, and you got to
Someone
let
else
the
voiced out about that, like letting their personality as far as they dress and stuff, like not always having to do the suits and.
or on ice too, on ice personality. Let
Yeah.
these guys play. Let these guys be themselves on the ice. Look at, I mean, I've said this before, but I don't really compare hockey to other sports too often, but look at the confidence you get out of athletes in other sports when they're able to just be themselves. They dress the way they want to play. They get to,
Right.
regardless if you like the personality or not. A lot of these guys can take it to the next level because they're just embracing their own ego,
Right.
I think if you could see Austin Matthews maybe show a little more personality on the ice, he might be even better. Not to say he's not a great player, but you know what I'm saying? So
yeah,
we'll see what happens with that.
I don't even know what got us there. Let's talk about the North Division, though. Toronto holding first place in North Division. Toronto holding solid first here with 65 points. Matthews with over 34 goals on the season. I mean, what is going on with this kid? When's he going to stop? Is it going to stop? Who's going to stop him?
I think this is the future of the NHL. I know Connor McDavid is such a great player, but also Matthews is arguably right up there with him and McKinnon. Mitch Marner, though, is really the deal breaker here. I'm not saying Matthews wouldn't be playing as well, but Mitch Marner is the icing to the cake. If Matthews is the cake, Marner's the icing, and no one likes dry cake. You gotta ice every cake, right?
And look, in my opinion, Nylander's a sprinkles. So there.
Ooh, really?
I'm a Nylander fan, man. I think he's underrated, and his style of play, I dig it.
I don't know if he's the sprinkles.
Okay,
the dusting. He might be the glass of sweet tea you drink after you finish the cake. He's the guy that helps wash everything down. He's right there for you. But they've just gotten so good and so deep throughout their lineup. Foligno's jumping in there on the first line with Marner and Matthews already looks good. Got a point his first game. You got Wayne Simmons. You got guys like Jumbo Joe. The depth is there. We haven't even touched on their defense and their goaltending. Anderson coming back off an injury after Campbell went on 10 game winning streak.
Yep.
Things are just going right in Toronto. Blessed that they only have to play Canadian teams, and most of the Canadian teams aren't that good.
Right.
But
we're going to see.
You got to take advantage of your situation, right? If you can get if you're in a weaker division and it's the same year, all your guys are firing on all the cylinders. Fuck it, let her
chase it down.
Chase
them down. So. And following close behind them is Edmonton. I mean, 58 points, a little bit behind, but Connor McDavid on pace for a 100-point shortened season. What?
Unreal. I mean, when you got to carry the team on your back, it's to be expected, right?
I mean, he's talking about a hardworking dude. It's so good, so talented, so skilled, and just taking full advantage of. And dude, he seems to me like he's a really chill cat. Like he could be you know what I mean? That ego, bro, especially with how good he is. Yeah,
maybe piss him off like we've seen with Ovi, where he takes it up and, oh, really? You want to knock a tooth out? Okay, here's a hat trick.
Right.
I don't think we've really seen that too often. He gets pissed off when calls get missed or he gets a bad hit against him. He'll go turn it up and score. But yeah, to see it, I think there could be another level there. And he's still so young that maybe he's even physically and mentally, as far as IQ, not saying he doesn't have a great hockey IQ already, but it's obviously only going to get better as the years go on. There's no reason why he could. Yeah, there's no reason why this guy couldn't step it up another notch or two in the next season or 3. So yeah, scary things coming out of Edmonton. I think he'll always be an Oiler, though. I don't think they'll ever be, no matter what the organization does, even if they don't win a cup. I don't see him going anywhere else, right?
I don't know, man. I mean, who knows? He signed a long one. He does. He definitely signed a long one. But
I think he's committed to bringing a cup to Edmonton and doing whatever it takes.
They got to get that guy's support. I mean, Draisaitl, not to hide in the shadow or anything, but 66 points on the season. I mean, this is a killer combo.
Yeah,
this is a
definitely not hiding in the shadow, right? A stud. Holy shit. Draisaitl is not underrated, just definitely. He's like a Nicky Backstrom. There's so much talent with your all-star that the second guy just isn't going to get the light, even though he is potentially an all-star in the league as well. Draisaitl, unreal. Oh wow! I would love to have a Draisaitl. Draisaitl could change an organization. Imagine Draisaitl going to Columbus or something without Toro.
Absolutely
would be huge. So yeah, Draisaitl's a stud. Third place, Winnipeg. 27, 18, and 3 with 57 points, or 1 point out of second. Then you got in fourth place, Montreal, 21 and 17 with 51 points. This is going to be a tight one. Calgary is making a push in fifth for that last spot. They're at 45 points. I don't know what's going to happen. I do know this though. Montreal has looked good as of late. They're starting to really turn it on. Nick Suzuki is a stud. He's flourishing. He's played some great hockey. You got guys like Josh Anderson who have come in and played really, really well. Tyler Toffoli, also huge,
having a great season. Yeah,
huge pickup for Montreal. And then Carey Price has looked like Carey Price.
Carey Price. In fact, I think it's going to come into play here. And Montreal turned it on earlier in the season too, but then kind of fell off. And I feel like they're back in that groove again. And like you said, this is a team that might, that's going to be holding that fourth, could even overcome Winnipeg essentially. So I don't know.
Completely agree with you there. They're definitely trying to fight and get up a little higher, so they're not playing Toronto first round. But yeah, Calgary though has to get something going here. Johnny Gaudreau the other night looked pretty well. Monahan, all those guys, they have the talent. Will they make the final push? Oh, here comes Betty.
Bananas, bless you. Look at the light. I feel like I've had you're about to sneeze. I feel like I've had like a booger. Like right here, bless you. Bless you.
A booger.
I feel like I've had a booger like right here, but it's not. It's just allergies, bro. Like it's a fake me up bug.
Oh god.
The pressure is building.
That sucks.
Pressure. What do you know about pressure?
Under pressure. Sixth place, Vancouver, 41 points. Seventh place, Ottawa, 40 points. Ottawa is potentially 5 games. Oh, well, it's 11 points. So 6 games, 6 W's in a row, and Ottawa makes a playoff spot.
Is Vancouver completely screwed here, only having 42 games played? I mean, is this something with that COVID protocol? I mean,
either they're screwed or they're going to get their shit together and make a push. I don't see it happening after Holtby stood on a fucking head the other night, and the guys just couldn't get it going. I mean, Calgary was all over them. You got some good talent in Vancouver offensively. Pettersson coming back would be huge. I don't know if it's going to happen or not, but we'll see. By the way, back to the West real quick. St. Louis Blues, Tarasenko back. That's huge. Shout out to him. Hopefully he can get things going. That's another NHL superstar that we need in the league producing and make. I like watching Tarasenko play. But yeah, we'll see. The North though, it's gonna be shaky. They haven't been too strong. No team's been real consistent other than Edmonton and Toronto. I feel like Winnipeg even fell off a little bit and working their way back up now. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, keep an eye on that bottom line. It's gonna be a close race. I
agree for sure. And let's jump over to the East where all of it is happening. Taking over first place in the East as of today, Tuesday, when we recorded, Pittsburgh Penguins with 67 points. Who almost counted them out? Remember when people were talking about Pittsburgh being nothing?
I did. I thought they were going to finish 5th or 6th, just the way they looked.
And here they are. Here they are.
Hextall comes in. Brian Burke comes in. They switch up the front office a little bit, and things have got going. They pick up Jeff Carter on the trade deadline. They're making a push. A push, and it's working. They've got some goaltending playing well for them.
I think that's going to be their weakness, though. That's going to be the downfall. Is going to be the goaltending.
Possibly. They don't have that flurry to fall back on, and I don't know if Yari and DeSmith are.
I think they're. I don't think neither one are cut for one. Neither of them are cut for number one.
Yeah. And, yeah, we'll see. The fact that they've been able to do it, they've played some great hockey as of late.
Very true.
Can't count Sidney Crosby out. That play that we saw with the stick from the manager on the equipment manager, like
what a heads up. That's what it takes to get him full. I mean, that's everyone involved. He knows he knows he's on the ice. Sid's calling for a stick. He knows right on the rack where he put it because those guys they got him all laid out. Bang, 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 all the way back.
Yep,
it's beautiful. It's beautiful. It takes a full team. That's a full club effort right there.
Cap sitting in second with 66, so they're a W away, 2 points from taking first back. They're playing the Islanders right now. Can't wait to jump in and go watch that game. That's going to be a great game. Islanders are in third with 63, so the Caps are starting to put a little space on the Islanders. It's coming down to the Washington, Pittsburgh for the top spot in the East. That's fun to say. Very familiar to see. It's bringing back early 2000 vibes. So it's going to be a tight race because in fourth place at 60 points is the Boston Bruins, and then
can't count them out at all.
No, not at all. But if anyone's going to make a push, it's the Rangers sitting in fifth with 56 points, and the Rangers have been hot. They've been hot, bro. They've looked real good for a team that people are like, no big deal. They're rebuilding, blah, blah, blah. Panarin is some Russian mafia, fucking political bullshit, blah, blah, blah. Hank's gone. Who's going to step up? And Georgiev has stepped up. You know, they've got players to step up. I don't know, man. Boston would have to really fall off hard. Could you imagine Boston falling off and the Rangers coming in on that 4th spot?
I don't, but anything's possible. I mean, anything's possible.
Yeah, if playoffs start tomorrow, it'd be Pittsburgh versus Boston, Washington versus the Islanders. Woo. But hey, as of late, Washington this is the 3rd game in the week versus the Islanders, and the Caps have had their numbers so far. They were the guys we were most worried about. So the boys turning it up and being able to take on them like that and win, that's huge. That's real huge. It gives me a little, it takes the monkey off the back a little bit, you know.
What team do you want to avoid if you were the Capitals going into postseason?
Talked about this, and you convinced me it was the Islanders, but real talk, like Pittsburgh.
Yeah, Pittsburgh.
Or I know they're not in there yet, but hypothetically, if this were to happen, I don't want to play the Rangers.
Yeah.
I don't want to play. They've had our fucking number all season. And like the Islanders have beat us and Boston's beat us and things like that, but we've been able to battle back and win other games against them.
I wouldn't mind Boston. I'll take Boston.
I'll take Boston. Yeah, I would take, which is scary because Bergeron, Pasternak, and Marchand
made us look like fools
in the playoffs too. They bring another level. They really do. And not saying these guys don't try every game, but Bergeron and Marchand and Pasta in the playoffs is a fucking it's deadly. But I think it would be Pittsburgh or the Rangers. If the Rangers were to make it, I would take on the Islanders in Boston right now. Pittsburgh is playing like a machine, and that rivalry and the history alone could be a disadvantage to one organization.
I heard that.
Yes.
That pretty much wraps it up. We got Philly chilling back in 6, 51 points. There could be something.
I think they fell off hard, bro. I don't know what happened with Philly, but I think they're done. No way they recover.
But I mean, the points are possible, but I don't think it's going to happen with the top 5 in this division. I think this top 5 is going to be pushing hard here. So I don't know. That pretty much rounds it out. New Jersey and Buffalo down there. We'll go from there.
Yeah, and then Buffalo has got to get it together this offseason, bro.
Is Eichel really hurt?
I think so. I don't know why they waited so long to come out about it. That was the weird thing. But I guess when you're front office and you're head coaching and everybody's a bunch of fucking morons, you know, shit like that has happened. Maybe they didn't want to say anything about his injury because they were waiting to see if anyone was going to make a push for a trade for him. So they held off on putting it out there.
You can't trade a guy with a broken neck. Non-disclosure.
Non-disclosure. Yeah, you want Eichel? Yeah, we'll give you Eichel. Shows up.
Can we inspect him? Yeah. Hey, what's up, guys?
I can't play till next year. Thanks for picking me up, though.
Right. Yeah. Looking forward to it.
Looking forward to it.
Boy, oh boy. Well, that wraps the NHL, guys. We're getting closer and inching closer to the playoffs every game. Definitely going to be excited to get playoff. I mean, I feel like with the series style of setups we've kind of had a little taste of the playoffs all season. But for it to be official coming up, man, it's going to be a big year. It's almost anyone's year. This is a year that we said that a lot of teams can take advantage of this short season, and it's proved true.
I think a Washington-Vegas Stanley Cup final is very, 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 very
repeat.
I don't think, depending on how the playoffs work out and which top team plays who, the West versus North, East Central, I don't know. But if Toronto has to play, let's say, the West, I don't see them getting past the West. I don't think they could beat Vegas in a best of 7. They might be able to do something against the Central. I don't think they could take on the East. So I think it's going to be East versus West. I really do. I mean, the Central is the underdog. They could make something happen just because they have a lot of good teams in the Central. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, the North is, I think you can kind of count out on the Stanley Cup final, but we'll see what happens. A lot of hockey coming. We got playoff hockey coming. We got Seattle Kraken expansion draft coming, plus the regular draft. And then I think we're shooting for November start date for the next season. So it's going to be a lot of hockey coming quick when we'll only have a couple months off this season. So I enjoy it. I know it was a shorter season. I'm ready to get back to an 82 game schedule though.
Yes.
And get some normalcy, and get the all-star game, those type of vibes. So we'll see what happens. Big interview for us. We're rolling in. We got our boy Mike from Instagram, Micheal.m9h. If you're not familiar, you're about to be. John Shea, editor, STICKWRAPS, hockey influencer, builds hockey rinks his entire
RINK builder.
Yeah. He knows it all, guys.
Hustler. Man. This is a great Interview. Mike was awesome. So I hope you guys enjoy it. And it's fun. It's educational, and you get to see another person that dove in head first to something. I don't want to give it away.
Check
out this interview, guys.
Yeah. You guys are going to like this one.
All right, guys, we got another great guest on our on our podcast today. Michael's joining us, man. He's a content creator, video editor, as well as owner operator of Custom Stick Wraps. Michael, thanks for joining us, man. How are you?
Good, man. Thanks for having me on.
Absolutely, dude. Before we get started, go on ahead and plug your IG, your website, plug everything so everyone can find you and know exactly what you're about.
Instagram, Micheal.m9h. YouTube channel's coming soon, so it'll be the same thing, Micheal.m9h.
Awesome, man. Dude, thanks for joining us. And we'd been exchanging some messages on Facebook about NHL and stuff like that. We got deep diving in your Instagram and talking and stuff like that. And dude, like you working with video editing and stuff like that, what got you started with the video editing and down that path? You said you've only been doing it for less than a year, right?
Yeah. So with STICKWRAPS, I did a custom hockey stick for Dunkin' Donuts. And in that, like, the blade was custom painted. It's got like a chocolate drip that goes over the top. And I just kind of wanted to do like a really cool video just on the making of that stick. So I've kind of always been interested in video, but I don't have experience doing it. I got a completely different background. But as with most of the things that I do right now, it's just kind of like, well, like, I think I can figure this out. So I just jumped in. I did it. I did the whole video. Seemed to be, people thought it was cool. It was like right before the Let's Play Hockey Expo up in Minneapolis last year. So I go to Minneapolis, and a lot of the people that I know there and a lot of the brands and companies that were all there, they either knew me beforehand or they knew me from that video. And they were like, yo, I saw that stick. I saw that video. That was really cool. Man, I want to say probably a good month, maybe month and a half went by. And I was planning on doing another one. And then pro inline and ice hockey player John Schiavo, you guys had him.
Yeah, Schiavo's
beauty.
Decent friends with him, and he saw it and he was like, "Yo, I had no idea you could do video editing." And I was like, "Well, that's the thing. I don't like. I had no idea what I was doing." And he was just kind of like, "Well, that video was amazing. Like, that was so good." And he was like, "What else have you done?" And I sent over, some other videos that I'd edited, small things and other stuff. And he was like, "Holy crap! Like, this is really good." And he was like, I mean, do you want to do more of this? And I was like, I can tell you right now, I had an absolute blast doing that. And I am definitely going to like kind of go down the route and do some more. And he was like, well, if I send you, some stuff, he works very heavily with Colby. He's great friends with Colby, MD Media. Great guy. And he was like, but if I can send you some stuff too, and I got two guys going, like, this would be awesome. I was like, yeah, man, like, send me some stuff. So he sent me some stuff. I did some videos. This started out rough. Like, I mean, pretty rough.
It's a learning process for sure.
Kind of learning his video style. And then, COVID, wasn't, it was right as COVID was hitting. So like, he wasn't with Colby like nonstop, like he usually is. And so like, he was using like his phone and GoPro and stuff like that. So once we kind of worked out kind of filming styles and he was trying to, take tips from Colby because he was doing a lot of it himself. We kind of really got into a flow. And man, it's taken off from there. That's his YouTube channel right there, Schiavo 4. And from that point, like I just started doing like all of his YouTube videos. So that's kind of where we're at now.
Nice, man. So started for the promotion of your stick. We're gonna talk about the stick wraps for sure, but started for a promo video, and now you're here, man. That's awesome that you just got behind it and took the time to learn that. I mean, I feel like that's what most of it is. Like you said, you got to learn the style and then what you like and go from there.
Sure. And, like not being, just kind of learning on my own and kind of doing this, I definitely have a unique way of editing and a unique way of like kind of doing my videos, my edits. And it just seems to work really, really well with the way that he records and what he's trying to put out there. So, I mean, it just works really, really well. So it's cool. I'm enjoying the heck out of it.
Yeah, you can tell you have a passion about it. That's awesome. I had a question, if you don't mind. When did you get in? You're a hockey guy, obviously. When did you get into hockey? Your dad get you in? A brother? When that start for you?
So it's actually it's weird. It's interesting. So I live in Kansas City, and hockey is like nothing in Kansas City. Like it's like non-existent here. And my parents were just very fearful of me playing football. They were like, I don't want him playing football. I don't want him getting hurt. It's a very, rough sport. I tried baseball, man. That was just so stupidly boring, and I was just kind of like, this is dumb. I can't do it.
Yeah.
I saw a bunch of people skating one day, and I was like, well, that looks like fun, and like rollerblades were becoming a thing. And I was like, I want rollerblades. And the very first day that I was on rollerblades, I was skating backwards, and I was just kind of like, this is a blast. I'm like, I love, like, I want to play hockey. And
Yeah.
again, like, hockey is nothing in Kansas City, so my parents were like, hockey, like, where the heck did that come from? And I was like, I don't know, but I love skating, like, and I just want to keep going.
Right.
So, kind of went up from there, and like hockey kind of started growing at about the same time that I was really getting into it, going. I was having a blast, I was having fun, and it just kind of went from there. Ended up playing competitively, tried out for a pro inline hockey team out in Denver just on a whim, and actually
Yeah.
made it.
Nice, dude.
Oh, like, wow, like that was crazy. I did, but like I had a kid, so I was like, I can't really like move to Denver and like play pro
Yeah.
inline hockey. So I was like, I came back to Kansas City, just played rec, and
But
from
nice
there,
knowing, right? Just knowing in the back of your head, like,
yeah,
I could have done it.
I mean, when you're in Kansas City, you can't really gauge yourself. I mean, we would do tournaments, we would go around, we
Right.
would win tournaments, in different, but like I personally didn't know where I stood compared to like the good ones. And so I was
Right.
like, the tryouts are open as long as you're listed as a free agent on, their thing. So I got that done, and I just showed up for the tryout. Yeah, they were like, hey, you made the team. It was the Westminster Blizzard. They actually had won the championship the year before. So that was actually
Dude, that's
pretty
awesome. So did you
Yeah.
did you start with like roller and stick to the roller side? Did you ice as well, or?
I did. Yeah. No, I did ice for a little bit. There was the Kansas City like junior blades for a while here, but
Right.
like again, like the only like at that time there was only like one or two ice rinks in Kansas City, and
Right.
it was like 40 minutes away. So like my
Yeah.
parents didn't want to, like, ice time was through the roof. Like it just so expensive. So inline was just the cheapest.
And it sounds just like us growing up in the DMV. Like I was in Southern Maryland. The closest rink we had was in Virginia. It's like, so we were over an hour away. We were the only, like I was the only kid on the travel team from Maryland. Like we had no family, friends, like nothing, dude.
Right.
So I definitely feel that. And then that's how I found roller too, because roller was just local. Like the talent was different, obviously, but at least roller was something we could play more often. So it's weird how we transition into that.
Yeah, it's definitely like I still have a very big passion for inline. Like it's kind of like I'm more interested in the inline than the ice. But I love the idea of, and you guys can relate, you put a stick into the kid's hand and like just teach them how to shoot and score, like before you even get to the skating part, get them to fall in love with the sport itself. And then from there, kind of teach them how to skate. And then the natural progression from there is to get into ice, because ice is obviously faster. And, when you're a true hockey player, like it's a lot more fun. So.
Yeah, I was just gonna say I hadn't played a roller tournament. I played on a semi-pro team back from like the Piha days. I don't know if you were around for when that was around.
That was the league that I made. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I used to play roller in that league as well. And man, that was like 10 years ago for real. And I had my first competitive roller tournament like a couple weeks ago, and just jumped right into a senior, the adult A. And dude, it was like such a cold. It was just such a shock, because I've been playing ice for straight 10 years, nothing roller whatsoever.
Right.
And then just getting thrown to this, I was like, this is not the roller hockey game I remember. Like all possession. It was crazy, man.
Yeah, but it's like, as you know, it's a ton of fun. Like,
dude, it was. I want to do more tournaments. I want to get back into it. It's a different style of hockey. Like it's crazy how it can be such a total different game. Possession, the passing. It was wild, man. It was definitely like a culture shock. I was like, what am I doing out here? Like,
yeah.
I didn't know like which way to go. But so let's jump back to your custom stick wraps. Tell us more about that. I know we saw the Dunkin' Donuts. You brought that up earlier.
Sure.
That's how it all started. Is that what it started with? Was the Dunkin' Donuts like the first one out the gate?
So it kind of came about. I wanted to get a St. Louis Blues hockey stick for my kid for Christmas. Okay. And I couldn't find like a full-size one anywhere. So I was like, well, that seems dumb. So then I was like, what about a Red Wings one? I'm a big Red Wings fan. Couldn't find one. And so I just started, coming up with some of the other teams, and like none of these teams had a full-size hockey stick. And I was like, well, this just seems stupid. Like, why not? And once I kind of like get into it more, I was like, well, I'm just going to do this myself.
Right.
And so that just kind of became the tinkering around with ideas and trying to figure out. A good buddy of mine, like my best friend, was a graphic artist. So I kind of had like, hey man, can like we come up with something that like can customize this stick, that I can put any color, any brand, any logo, any name like on the stick and make it look like a composite stick. So it's not one of those cheap looking wood ones. And so we messed around with the idea for a while, kind of took it to a couple lawyers just to kind of be like, I'm not doing anything wrong here? Can I patent
Right.
this? You know, just go through the whole process. And the very first client that I had was the 1980 U.S. Olympic team, the Miracle on Ice team.
Wow.
They Ken Morrow actually lives here in Kansas City and is part of the RINK building business that I was part of for a while. And the guy that I was talking to kind of puts on the NHL, the preseason game here in Kansas City. And he was like, hey man, like, why don't you take this, you know, up to Ken and like see? And I was like, yeah. So I took up to Ken. He said, this looks like a great idea. They have a fantasy camp that they do up in Lake Placid every year. Kind of went through the process of like working with them, and their very first order was 100 sticks. Like, remind you, at this point, I had made like 4. Like
Right out of
like,
the gate.
can we get 100 of these, you know, in the next 3 weeks to a month? And I was like, yes.
Yeah.
And then had to go try to figure it out. So actually the interesting story about that very first year was I needed to get 100 of those sticks, and they were still in Montreal as of Sunday, and they had to be in Lake Placid completed by Friday.
Oof.
And so I get them Monday morning, and they're street hockey sticks. So like the blades are all rough, and I had told Lake Placid, like, these are going to look like composite sticks. So every single one of these blades on all 100 sticks had to be sanded down smooth.
Oh.
Then they had to all be painted, and then they all had to be wrapped. And then I had to drive them to Lake Placid, which was a 24-hour drive from where I was. So I'm looking at this going, oh my God, like I literally pulled 3 all-nighters like in that first
Yeah.
week.
That's a
Like,
Mission Impossible scenario, dude.
It actually gets even better because I go to rent the car to leave, and I filled out the paperwork. I'm doing the whole entire thing. And then as I'm like literally walking out the door, the lady was like, well, where are you guys going? And I was like, I'm going to New York, like to drop off these sticks. And she goes, hold up. And I was like, what's up? She's like, we don't let our cars go to New York. And I was like, what do you mean you don't let your cars go to New York? I've never heard, like, why? She was like, New York has this like liability law where if you get in an accident, it's actually our fault, not yours. And so we don't let our cars go to New York. I was like, that is the stupidest thing I've ever heard.
What?
And I was like, so what do I do? And they were like, well, like Hertz doesn't do it, and like Enterprise doesn't do it. So Avis is the only one that I think lets our cars go to New York. And I was like, okay, well, how do I get a car with them? And so she made some phone calls, and she was like, okay, I got a car all lined up with you through Avis. And I'm like, all right, but like, I'm supposed to be on the road like now. Like, I don't have time to now go to Avis and load up and do it. So we go through the whole process. Long story short, I didn't have time to stop and sleep overnight on my drive. So I literally left at like 1:30 in the afternoon. I was supposed to be on the road by 9 a.m. I leave at 1:30 in the afternoon to drive. I didn't have time to stop. I stopped in Buffalo just to look at Niagara Falls and watch the sunrise, but it was right back in the car. And I got to Lake Placid within an hour of when I said I would be there, and delivered all the sticks.
Holy
So,
shit.
Man.
Year 1 right out the gate.
I was going to say, your company just got fired out of a cannon, like first contract. Right. Wow, man.
What's the turnaround on one stick? Like how long, start to finish?
It's just a couple weeks. The biggest thing, honestly, is the design. I've got it so streamlined now, like it's not even fun.
No,
like,
I'm saying when you were doing your first 100, like how long was it taking you to get one stick done? Were you able to get like 25 a day? Like how quickly was that going through?
I was able to do probably about 20 a day. Nice. Because now, mind you, at that time, like I was still learning how to wrap the sticks without getting wrinkles and bubbles and all. Like this was still an idea, not like a finished product. So yeah, it definitely took a long time.
Yeah, you were learning as you go, right there. Ain't nothing wrong with that.
And there's nothing better than that too. Sometimes.
Yeah.
I mean, and I think the cool part was like right after that, like I still had a job at that point. Like this wasn't what I was doing full time. That like by the end of it, I was like, I wasn't deterred. I was like, that was fun. I want to do it again.
Right.
Yeah.
And so like that's when I knew. I was like, this might be something, but I didn't even turn it on and actually make it a business. So I've done that. I've done Lake Placid now for 5 years. And like all the sticks get autographed. I actually have one sitting right up here. I actually got 5 of them. But here, I'll actually grab it for you.
Yeah. Please. That's so wild, dude.
Oh.
Santa down, painted, and then wrapped.
So,
and this is a wood stick, cool. Yeah,
this is wood. So this was year 4. This is year 4's design, but it's signed by every single member of the 1980 U.S. Olympic team.
Bro.
So Lake Placid, New York. It's got the logo on there.
Wow, that thing is so sick.
I mean, they're pretty cool. and they pass these out to like all the members of the camp. So every
Right.
single person in the camp like gets one of these, and then I get some of the leftover extra ones that they have. So.
That's so sick.
That's awesome.
Man.
Did now on that stick right there, did they give you like a design, or was that all you like just coming up with? They just had.
They were like, they change the color scheme every year. Like I've got a white one, I've got a blue one, I've got a black one. The black one looks pretty dope because they signed it in gold. They didn't sign it silver.
Oh,
metal, so it's all
that's
signed
legit.
in gold.
That's sick.
I can't grab that one. It's buried under all those sticks. But like, yeah, I mean, it's pretty sick. But yeah, they just kind of change up the color scheme every year, and they were like, hey, we got to change up the colors. And I try to come up with a different design just to keep it fresh.
Right.
Fresh.
So yeah,
that's sick.
So not only for so that all that, and I can't believe that all just comes from like your previous work and connect. That's so awesome. Like just being like that person you are, like, you know what I mean? Like having the passion and vibes for that, like that just led you down that path, making the connections, you know, that's awesome, dude. So what does that bring for you? Like moving, like, so do you take orders now? Is this something that people still order from you? Do you have, like you said, you mostly do contracts or corporate stuff versus
I do
like,
a lot of corporate stuff. Like I just landed NBC in the NHL doing sticks for the NHL playoffs and stuff like that. But
that's awesome.
We do a lot of like, you know, I've done Tim Hortons. You know, they're looking at doing like a big run, but this is a really big stick order thing for like awards and like, you know, I get a lot of people reaching out for like weddings and stuff like that. A lot of hockey players like, getting married, like I need to do a stick. Can you like, I've actually got like 5 of them in the works right now for weddings.
That's
golf
awesome.
Tournaments are really big. Golf tournaments like to use them, you know, for hockey teams and stuff like that. They'll come out and do it. But this is a limited edition stick that we did, and this kind of, I'll show you this one real fast just because it shows off what we can do with the blades now, because the blades, I've upped my game with that. But this I'm moving in stick that I did with Gooby Customs. So it says Joker on there. It's got the whole skyline, smoke, all that jazz, Batman logo, all that stuff. It's got the ha 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 written on it. We did a run of these, but the blade is what's cool. So I can now do custom blades in which
that's sick, dude.
You can legit customize all the stuff. So on the front, it's this, like, and then the back, swing it around. It's
that's insane.
So like
that's
you could level. Like if you wanted like your picture, your team picture, let's say this was a team stick, like you could have the picture of like your team like all on there with like, and I can literally do absolutely anything and customize the blades on it, and they turn out like super clean.
There's
like,
so many different avenues where I could see this like, you know, awards. There's just so many different things.
The award sticks are the biggest ones.
Yeah, that's so sick, bro. That's so
just
sick.
Like
think about companies that do photo shoots and need a hockey stick. Now they can have their own stick. Silky mitts.
Oh, and this one's for Ice Wolves.
Oh yeah, that's hard,
dude.
So like you can see, like we customized the blade and all that jazz.
I would just want them to put on my wall, like art.
Yeah,
for real. Like, I mean, and that's kind of what a lot of people now are reaching out to is like, hey, man, like I just want this stick to like, and there's nothing that really stops you from playing with them. Like you totally can. But you know, as for a stick on your wall, like your team name. Let's say your team, like this is the last year for your high school team or college team or something like that. You definitely make one for all the guys, and then everybody signs them, kind of like those Lake Placid ones. And
that's such a great idea.
That's
forever.
Brilliant.
So
that's brilliant.
So you can use that stick as well as hanging. Like you can just take that right out to the rink, and it's reliable as well.
They are, I mean, they're real hockey sticks. So I can do composite sticks, I can do wood sticks, and like I mean, there's nothing that stops you. Like a lot of the sticks that I've done, like people send me pictures like of them playing with it. So the rink that I run here in Kansas City, they've got like rental sticks and sticks that they rent out, but they don't want anyone taking them. So they have them completely branded with like all of their stuff on there, just that they keep at the rink. And yeah, you can definitely use them.
Man, that's so cool, dude.
Yeah, I mean, it is actually really cool, and like I'm excited. To see
the Dunkin' Donuts, I remember when I first saw it, just like there had been nothing like that really. You know what I'm saying? I was just blown away. And then the white too. That was so sick. Did you work with them? Did you, or is that just like a piece you did? Because you said you worked with Timmy's.
So Yeah, Timmy's was one that and I don't have that one anymore. Here's the Duncan one.
Yeah,
Bro,
that
that's
thing
like
is
that thing is
so sick.
the
And
drip, bro.
this is like custom painted. So that's not even like a graphic like the other one was. But
Oh wow.
this actually came to me like I was already doing like the Dunkin' stick like in general with like all their branding and DunkinDonuts.com.
I
all that
love
jazz.
how it looks like it would be like an Easton Stealth or something. The design, like the design is still
sure,
like to the
yeah.
hockey
I
stick
actually
styling. It's not some just like pictures on a stick. Like
Right.
that's my favorite part about, man. That's awesome.
I think and when I reach out to people and they want to do a design, I'm kind of like, are you a Bauer person? Are you a Warrior person? Are you a
Man.
I mean, like what stick style do you like? Because like when I go through to design it, I want it to be like parts that you enjoy.
Right.
So yeah, no,
And
that
that's
turned
the
out
type of
really, really
authenticity you get when someone's actually passionate about what they're doing. You don't just have someone that's good at business running a company. No, it's
sure.
the guy
Yeah.
is like in the culture essentially. You get that authenticity that just can't be.
Well, and then
mocked.
like as a hockey player, like you can relate,
Yeah.
you understand.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
like I understand kind of the little details in there of like why that would matter to where someone that's just flipping it for money, like
Mm-hmm.
And I'm so happy you guys expanded on that, because when I said that was cool and I was just smiling, I could not formulate. I was like, man, he has the styling down. Like it looks, it's not just like slapped on the side of it. You know what I mean? Like it's legit style, like hockey style. You nailed it, Silk. You did too.
Yeah,
Michael, obviously.
and I would
you.
encourage you to also go to my Instagram. So I'm coming out with a new thing called the M9H Customs, and I don't know if you guys know Bones on Instagram. Did Bones Dustin Smith? He is the emergency backup goalie for the Nashville Predators. He's a really good buddy of mine. Actually got into doing full custom painted goalie sticks, and so he's got his custom pad setup that he's done with Lefebvre and True, but like his stick didn't match that, especially with like his nickname Bones on it and all that. So
Right.
like these are completely custom painted. Like there is no graphics, there's no wrap stuff on them, and that way you can get a hockey stick that actually matches your setup. Like that's kind of the
that
next
stick
thing.
was so hard. It had like the little details in the lettering too.
Yeah. The paint guy that I use, Darren, he's a real good buddy of mine. I play hockey with him multiple times every week. He, thank God, lives 5 minutes from me.
Right.
But he's one of like the top like custom motorcycle painters like in the country. Like he's done some rock stars and like big name people.
That's awesome.
And like he knows so like I just kind of like come up with the drawing and the design and make sure like whoever I'm designed it for likes it. Go over there and be like, man, like let's turn this into magic. So we've got I think 2 or 3 of them right now, like that are in the works that take what we did with the bone stick, because we were trying to get that to match like Dustin's pads.
Yeah.
And like his pads are very clean, very classic, very basic. So like we couldn't go too crazy with it. But these next goalie sticks are going to really just make you go like, holy crap. Like they're going to be.
That's awesome.
What an opportunity! Like just the connections and everything, man. Just the next, it's endless. It's endless for you, dude. That's so cool.
I think the biggest thing is like when people say like it's not what you know, it's who you know.
Yeah.
Like that legit could not be any more true. I mean, I look at a lot of what I have going on, and I owe it all to like the people that are around me. So
right,
that's huge. We talk about that all the time. We talk about that. Yeah.
Yeah, it definitely takes a team, bro. It's a team. It sounds like you're firing on all pistons. You know what I mean? And is there something different where you decide to do paint versus a wrap? Is there like a certain point in the style that you decide to do either one?
Honestly, it's cost.
Okay.
You know, like if you're gonna go like a lower end cost or something like that, then definitely wraps all day long.
Right.
And go for a wood stick with a wrap, because that cost is going to be pretty low.
Even cheaper.
If you want something that's like high quality, then obviously we'll do a composite stick, and like I'll paint the blade. That way, like you've got something really truly like handmade, unique.
Right.
But if you're just looking for something that just looks cool, it's going to hang on the wall, and you're not like, let's just not spend a whole lot on it. I need 20 of these, 25 of them. We'll do custom graphics and wraps like all day long.
Are people sending you a stick, or are you ordering blank carbon composite sticks?
It kind of depends. I've done sticks for people that like are playing and they want to use them. They will send me their stick, and I wrap it and do it. I've experimented a little bit with sending out the graphics and be like, here, you can wrap it yourself.
Oh, okay.
However, I put like heavy disclaimers on there. Is like, I am not responsible for wrinkles and bubbles, and like I've done probably 1,000, 15, 12, like something like I've done a whole lot of hockey sticks. I still mess up every now and then.
Right.
So like, and I know what I'm doing. I know like exactly how to move my thumb and exactly how to move my hand, and I still mess up every once in a while. So like I was like, I am not responsible for wrinkles. Like I will do my best. I've got like kind of like an instructional video of like, this is how to do it.
Right.
That I give to the customers just to kind of help out. But I mean, in general, it's kind of tricky. So
Dude, I
I'm looking
struggle
for
putting-
ways to kind of improve on it, but
I struggle putting the screen protector on my phone. I'm like, ah, shit, it's crooked. Like I couldn't even imagine doing a whole stick. Like there's no way. Like that would take me. I would definitely fumble that around.
It is very frustrating when you mess one up.
Yeah, I can imagine. You have to tear the whole thing off and start again, right? That is it. Like
that would ruin it.
You do. Yeah, you do, and because the wrap is ruined at that point, and
yeah, that once it goes on, is it a vinyl material?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Is it like vinyl? Because I've seen like the automotive ones. Sometimes, depending on how big it is, you can use heat and kind of correct it.
Yep, it is. It's a vinyl material. Yep. I would say
awesome.
the worst part is kind of like if you're moving the wrong way and it kind of like sticks to itself before you make it. Like, because then it's
Man.
by the time you peel it, that little bit of stretching
So
that you
fucked.
just pull, like the whole thing's ruined. So
I do that when I'm taping ductwork, man. I'll take this, I'll get like this big 30-inch piece of tape. I'm like, yes, and it curls, and I'm like, damn it, and just right in the trash can. Gotta start.
These wraps are like 50 inches long. So if they start to wrap or twirl and you're holding it with one hand, like you're kind of doing a dance around yourself, trying to keep it from. Yeah, it gets.
I'm leaving that to you, Mike. I'm leaving that to you. When it comes down to it, I'll leave it to you. Let's jump back. You had mentioned earlier that you used to construct rinks indoors, outdoors. Let's touch base on that. What got you started in the construction of rinks, man?
It's another weird story, but
let's have it.
So it goes back to like the same guy that I was talking to about the stick stuff, and the fact that like Ken Morrow was like the head of this construction company that was like building rinks. You know, just here in Kansas City, they only had the one really, but I had a lead here in my hometown about the Parks and Rec department like wanting to put in an outdoor rink, and I just happened to be like, I actually know a group that's here local that has one running like up north. If you would like me to kind of set up the meeting and kind of see where this goes. So do that, put everything together. They kind of take it from there, and it goes through the whole like voting process within the city and all that jazz, and part of like upgrading parks and amenities. So they approved the whatever quarter-cent sales tax it was for another number of years, and in that included like the building of the hockey rink, an outdoor seasonal hockey rink. It's pickleball in the summer, ice rink in the winter, and it's a half sheet. It's 100 by 80, and so they goes through the whole process. They do all the bidding, and the company that like I mentioned, like they won it, and they kind of came back and they were like, "Hey, would you want to help build this?" And I was like, yes.
Yeah,
and so
definitely.
Oh shit. And
from there, like kind of like learned as we went, like how to build the rinks, and so built it, and then got the contract to run it for a year. And then like after that, we didn't renew the contract, and they were like, "Hey, like since you guys built this rink, like we're gonna send you out on the road and team up with another group, and like you guys are gonna travel around like building hockey rinks." So
dude, well, that's awesome.
Dakota, spent a month out there. It was a rebuild. They had there's a twin sheet. They completely tore it out, and then we came in and literally like you're the ones driving the Bobcats. You're the ones pulling in the pipes and welding in the pipes and putting in all the styrofoam and hooking everything up and getting it ready for concrete, pour the concrete. By that point, we were leaving, went to St. Louis for a while, went to Atlanta, put in one out there, went to Chicago. Like, I mean, we just went all over.
Are these like state run facility like type rinks, or are you doing rinks for like teams?
It's both. Yeah, no, it's private, private groups. Like the Atlanta Mad Hatters is a junior team out in Kennesaw, Marietta. We built their rink. So, and that one turned out really, really sick. Sick. I mean, it's both.
Man, that's so awesome. So you guys are there for concrete, boards, glass, everything.
Yeah, we put in the boards, we put in the glass, hang the nets, but we're also like putting in all the rebar and hooking up all the pipes to the chillers. And
there's a lot of, and that's a lot of work. That's so cool. So does it take about a month to do? Does it take about a month to do the groundwork for everything? And
yeah, it takes you about a month. Because we were doing, even in South Dakota, we were there for 1 month, and we did a twin sheet from start to finish, like to the concrete phase. And obviously the concrete's got to sit there for a number of weeks, a month.
Yeah, absolutely.
But then you come back and you put in the boards, the glass, we put in the benches, put in all the mats and hang the netting and put in the ice and paint all the lines. So
Man.
yeah, I mean,
Here's your hockey rink. Have a great day.
Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah. Then it's so weird because I do that type of work for like my full time, and it's just like, all right, I've put this together for you. I'll see you later. Like it's just like when you're done, you just leave. Like it's so weird.
It is the weirdest thing because like you're building a hockey rink and you're a hockey player. So then you finish it and you hand over the keys and then you're like on to the next project and then you come back after it's already done and completed. I've been fortunate enough to be able to go back to a couple of the rinks that we've built and been able to see them open and skate on them and see them. Like, and
that was my question. That was my next question. Like, do you get to skate on it and like see what type of ice it is? Like, is it soft, a little hard? Like, do you have an opportunity to explore that before you leave?
Kind of depends on where you're at with the project and kind of what your role is. I mean, if like a couple of the rinks that I was doing, like I was out before they even made it to the point of putting in the ice. So I was on to the next project. I didn't even get to see it done and like finishing until like whatever. Even the one we were doing in St. Louis, we did the Chesterfield one for Maryville University. We did that one. It was actually our hotel and the rink shared a parking lot, and I was actually walking from the hotel into the rink, and we were to the point of hanging the nets, and we had all the glass in, the boards in, but we didn't have any ice, and we were still doing finishing detail stuff. And they were like, "Hey man, you got to be in Atlanta tomorrow. Like it's a brand new build. Like you got to be in Atlanta like tomorrow." And I'm like, okay. So at lunchtime, come back, pack all your stuff, drive overnight, make it to Atlanta, 8 a.m. the next morning. You're on the next site. So I didn't even get to see.
Man, breaking ground, just ready to break ground immediately.
Yep.
That's great. So have you done more? So on a lot of the ODRs, I'm assuming like you mentioned earlier, like they do like, in season, obviously, then they do something like pickleball or like floor hockey, something like that. Is that what normally happens in the Southern? Like how like you did ODRs in Kansas City. What's the most Southern you've done like an ODR in the States?
Wichita, Kansas was one we did a couple of years ago. And that one was definitely temporary. It's part of a restaurant. So it was like a bar. And they had like this big like indoor outdoor like space like with pickleball courts and like yard games, but they had this big like concert stage like grass area like right in the middle of this bar. And they were like, we want to put a hockey rink here, an ice rink here, so we can do like public skate and stuff like that. We're like, okay. And so like we ended up having to bring in like all the styrofoam, have it laser leveled because it had like the grass had a slope to it. Bring in all this stuff, and then we brought in like all the temporary piping and stuff like that, set it up and put it all in there. And so
wow,
that's crazy.
You put a hockey rink in a bar.
Yeah.
Dude, the resume just gets the resume is just like this, bro. That's so cool.
Yeah, it was definitely it was sick. I mean, it was a cool environment. It's very cool when you can, eat, drink, and then like hop on the rink and skate. Even if you're doing like for the general public, they come out and do it. But then after hours when you get to play hockey out there, like, it's definitely it's a cool experience.
Is this something that you're still involved in as well, or is this more of like a backseat thing now? Or
so I help run the rink. I would love to build more, and I definitely act more as a consultant, having the experience in it to like, other people that are wanting to build a rink, and they like I'm friends with them or know them. They'll come back and be like, hey, how should we do this? How should we set up this? And I kind of give them the different options. Like the one we did in Atlanta was a sand floor. The one that we've done, for the other hockey rinks, or even the outdoor one, like that was a concrete floor. So like I can kind of tell you the differences between why you would want to use sand versus concrete. And then kind of the differences like in how like the piping structure all comes together. And
man, can we jump into that? I'm sorry. Like,
can you touch on that? Just touch on the concrete.
Just like from my knowledge, I knew there was concrete, but I thought there was sand over top of the concrete. I didn't know it was one or the other.
No, so it really honestly comes down to almost cost. So you can do concrete or sand. But the interesting thing about the sand is that so the piping system is lower, just because you don't need as much of that concrete to fill around the pipes, but you can do like a thinner layer of sand. But when you turn on the chiller, so you put on, you put in the coolant and you get it running and you put the sand over the top, like you don't have to go so deep over the pipes simply because like the concrete has to be a certain amount over the pipe so it doesn't crack. But the sand, you can bring it right to the top. But as soon as you spray that with the water, you go over it with the mist, that sand is going to freeze just like it's concrete. So it's going to be just as hard as concrete is going to be. and then you can lay your water on top of that, and then just put in your sheet of ice.
Man,
So,
that's awesome.
Yeah, it saves you a ton of money. You don't have to put in all the rebar. You don't have to I mean, it's definitely a more cost-effective solution.
Science class, folks. Science class.
Yeah, dude.
Even in the outdoor rink that we did down in Wichita, there were areas where like the boards and like the styrofoam that we had put in, because you have your vapor barrier that kind of like holds everything down. There would be holes where the water would basically be going underneath the boards and like leaking out. So we actually went and bought a whole bunch of sandbags, and we would just pack in sand anywhere that things were low or anywhere we didn't want water getting out. We would just pack in all that with sand, and like that would freeze and then keep the water in there. And then like the paint goes over the top of it, so you would have absolutely no idea that the sand was even there.
Yeah, that was a question I had too, because the painting the ice seems like I've seen it done when our local rink got redone, man, and it's been like 12 or 15 years, but I got to see process of that. Painting the ice, so you just so I'm assuming you start layering the ice, so you start flooding the ice, you get a layer of ice forming, and then do you paint on top of that, or do you actually paint that first layer of the sand?
No, you do about 2 passes with the boom sprayer. You form about a 16th inch of water like on top of your concrete or your sand or whatever it is.
Right.
And then you take your jet ice. You got like a big 100-gallon tub. And on my Instagram, I actually have a couple of videos of us doing it, and I've got a time lapse of us doing it as well. And you can see us. We go over all of it with water. You get that nice shiny gloss over the top, and then you put in your jet ice with the 100-gallon, and then you do boom spray. We do probably about 4 or 5 passes, depending on how evenly we got the white on there. But yeah, as soon as you get that on there, then from that point, you use the boom sprayer just to build it up. It's kind of sealing in that paint. So once you're sealed and you've got that in, you probably do maybe 10 passes with the boom sprayer. Then from that point, you're good to bring on the Zamboni, and then you just do a heavy flood. You just drive that Zamboni and circle
just keep going.
Just drop the water on it. So at least that's the way we do it. You can also like do just like a heavy flood. Like once your paint's down, just lay the hose on it, just let it go. But
is there a way to correct it? Like if you're doing blue lines or red lines, like if you like fuck up, is there a way to correct that? Like how do you get away from that scenario? That's just me curious.
Well, yes, there is, but like in general, like because it's just paint and you're doing it on ice, like you can just scrape it right off. So like if
that was easy.
We would use these things like they're actually paint scrapers, and like to scrape the paint off of like houses and stuff like that. That works real well for like on the ice itself when you're doing it. But that also depends on if you're actually doing the paint or if you're doing the tissue paper. Or if you're doing vinyl lines or something like that. I don't know if you guys have seen, but like you actually have like thin strips of like tissue paper that you lay out and you just goes around the circle. That way your paint is that same width, and you just got a guy with a simple sprayer that's just spraying over the top of it, locks it in, water on top of it, good to go.
Man,
fuck no,
I
didn't know that.
That's so cool.
Now I do.
Dude, we've been doing some awesome, informative, educational podcasts as of late, and this is awesome. Like I love learning on this podcast. Like it's like the coolest thing, dude.
Knowledge.
When you're not just shooting the shit, you're actually learning stuff.
Yeah, like we're getting to learn. Like you're getting to rap about like what you're good at. So it's like, and I'm all ears. It's awesome. I do want to change gears before we jump into the NHL. I noticed that you're a bladetech user and a Mars Blades user, and I just got to get your opinion on both, man. We've actually, Anthony just sent us some blades from bladetech this week. They just landed, so I can't wait to put them on, and I'm gonna do a whole product review. Both of us are gonna do a product review on it. But you're a fan? What's your biggest thing? What's the biggest thing you notice about the bladetech blades?
I'd actually say for me personally, the first thing I noticed when I stopped. And I know how to sharpen skates, so like I would sharpen my skates. So I sharpened the ones, the stock steel that I had in my Bowers, and then the bladetech ones. And like it's really hard to explain, but like the stopping seemed clean. I don't know like if you guys cook, but like if you have a knife and you're like cutting vegetables, and you've got one that's dull and you kind of had to dig, it cuts like, and you're fine, but you don't really notice the difference until you have one stupidly sharp and you cut and you just go, oh, it's that reaction when you're on the ice and you're going to make a stop or a turn. It's that, oh, like that was clean. Like that's felt
completely
good.
Different than I was expecting him to say.
Right. Yeah. And so like, and I've noticed, I will say, I think the other people that I skated, the very first time I had on it, 2 of the people that I was skating with, like, you actually look faster. And I don't know if that was a placebo thing, because I just felt like I was cool and my stride was better or stronger. But they were like, you actually seem like you got a little pep in that step. And I was like,
man,
you were buzzing
5%, bro. 5%.
Right. And, like, I'm just saying, like, I'm not going back to the stock steel. Like, I blade tech all the way. And I got some for my buddy, that Darren, that I do the custom paintwork stuff. I got him a set with his business name on it and all that stuff. So
that's awesome.
He loves them. His are red. We're actually working on, coming up with more content for them as well.
Right.
I'm trying to step up kind of my content game a little bit, but we definitely want to feature the people that are good to me, but are like good, genuine, good people, not just
definitely.
Then you're in the right spot with
Anthony and Blade Tech and the rest of it. Like, are really, really good people, really, really good guys, and I love the product.
Yeah, we've been really fortunate, man. We've found this like really nice niche of guys that just in the community that we've met, like Anthony, you, Shavs. Like we've had just great opportunities to have conversation and hopefully build off that, come in the future, dude. And like you said, Anthony reached out, we reached out to Anthony, and now that we've got a pair, like we're doing a full product review for him, give him some videos and move forward. That's awesome. This community is so awesome, dude. I'm looking forward to it for sure. Definitely.
It's cool.
Because laser engraving, all of it, like it's so next level. It's just like your sticks. It's like, man, it's so next level.
Right. And I don't know if you guys got color on them, but like, I love the fact that like mine are blue. Like it pops and people really notice, like when you go out there and be like I've gotten people that just kind of turn, like, are your blades blue? Like, they are. And then even with Darren, they're just kind of like, your steel is red. Like, what is that? Yeah. Like personalization.
Yeah. I like it.
It's the small things like that make, like you said, it makes you feel like, man, it's all about that style. Like, you know what I mean? It makes you, that's your vibe.
And I've always been unique, and I had my visor tinted when I was in high school. Like I had like tape jobs on my stick, like, and I was not afraid of getting chirped by anybody for anything. And if it was chirp worthy, I probably did it just to do that weird one. And no one.
Oh wait, did you use the pink mission? Everybody remembers the pink mission. Did you use the pink mission?
I did not use the pink mission. Nope.
Not that.
I remember that. I remember that on the roller side for sure. That pink mission was hot, bro.
That was the thing to do, but no, that was not. I did not do that.
I gotta bring it up. I saw on one of your posts, I guess you did a rap for Solid Stang. We follow him on Instagram as well. We've talked about chatted back and forth. What was that bent stick, like this pre-bent stick that I saw the picture of?
I don't.
It's called an Elevate or something.
Yeah, I got it up there. It's Elevate, and it's super unique. So I actually have used it several times, and I notice a difference.
Okay.
So I actually know Andy. Andy is a fantastic, great guy. Along the lines with like Anthony and the rest of these guys. Like I like working with really good people. And like the sticks seem legit. Like it's not just a weird, goofy thing. Like the whole science behind it is more or less that like it's already like pre-flexed. Like
tracking. Okay.
And put your hands in the right position already, so
it's
that
like
when you
it's
go
like
to
brake
shoot,
boosting.
You don't have to. Right. Like you don't have to like adjust your hands, and then by the time you go to flex, like you already have it like started, so you get that kick faster. And
that's so
like,
wild.
Yeah, and like he's put a lot of science into it. He's put a lot of.
We're gonna have to get him on here now.
Yeah, definitely.
Because I'm interested.
Absolutely. He can go into it much more detail than what I have. Like just in me using it a few times, and I've wrapped a couple. I don't know if you guys follow Jackson Hockey.
Yep.
But I've done 2 of his custom Elevate sticks, and like, I mean, they swear by him. So
that's so wild. So does it? I know you don't know the science, but does it come? So if I'm holding it in my hand, I'm a right-hander. Does it bend? So it's bent like a bow, right? So the blade would be a little bit back.
I will.
Just show us all your stick collection, Mike. We appreciate it.
You guys just want to see like all the hundreds of sticks that I have. Okay, so this is really hard, but like it curves this way, and then at the top it curves this way, but then side to side it definitely has a to it as well. So it actually curves in like multiple directions, and so if you're here, your hands are in a better position because the blade is flat and your hands are already cocked, ready to shoot. And then from here, you already have that flex for your shot, like ready to go.
That's wild. And I feel like you used it, so it feels good stick handling and everything as well. Like everything feels right.
It does, at least in the stick that I have here. I play with a grip on the stick, and the one that I have
Right.
does not have a grip, so it's kind of, it throws off, kind of the stick handling the shot a little bit, just because of that. But in general, I mean, honestly, I didn't notice the difference between that and the true stick that I was using. I've got a true AX9 that I use as well, and then also like a Hockey Arsenal Jealousy. Like they're all like super comparable to each other almost. So,
Right.
now I will say, like, I'm not a pro hockey player. I think if you put this in a pro's hands, they may have like they'll be able to notice the differences in them.
Right.
You know,
Those guys are super picky.
for a beer league guy or whatever, like I like it.
Yeah. I mean, I gotta get my hand. I gotta try something out like that. I get my hands on that and try it out. What do you think about
I
that?
would
So, does
definitely-
that thing blow your mind?
Listen, man, you know me. I'm particular about things. And
Yeah.
some things I just won't like. Listen, my bladetech blades are black. I'm cool about the personalization, but I don't know about that, bro. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah,
It's. I don't know.
It looks wild. Looks like one of the
It
wild. Like, if I seen someone
does.
that, like, is your stick half broke? I'm
Because
like,
if I
what
go,
is happening?
what happens when I go to dangle and I have to like slide my twig up and I'm pulling it in close and then I'm like, I don't know. I
that's
guess
actually the interesting thing is when you're using it, you don't notice it's curved. Like
That's
in
wild.
your hand, like you don't feel the curve in it. Like you don't feel like, oh, my hand is sliding up at an angle or it's weird. Like you just notice, like when you're stick handling, you can do the move the same. It doesn't really feel weird or different or anything like that.
I'm gonna have to get a demo. I'm gonna have to touch
Yeah,
one of
we're
these.
gonna-
Yeah. I'm gonna have to get. I'm gonna borrow one or something. I gotta
Yeah,
touch
it's
it.
gotta happen.
I'll hook you up with Andy.
Yeah, we'll
Yeah,
get him on the
definitely.
pod for sure. That's if anything, that's for sure.
Yeah,
That's
definitely,
awesome.
man.
That's what's up.
All right, dude. Let's jump. We know you're a Detroit fan. Let's first talk about the Detroit season and this big trade because we're Caps fan. What you got?
I was gonna hold on. How'd we get to becoming a Red Wings fan first and foremost? And when?
Okay.
Because then we could talk on some history. Because '98, we were enemies. We were hard enemies.
Yep. So, being in Kansas City, all we really have is the Blues, and obviously, follow the Blues. Interesting story. The very first year the Predators were in the league, they played a preseason game here against the Blues in Kansas City, and I won some contest to be able to go out there and skate like on the ice with the Predators. But the Predators had some weird scheduling thing. They couldn't make it. So then they were like, okay, you guys are going to play with the Blues. So I actually got to skate with the Blues players, and then afterwards met Pronger. And I didn't break 100 pounds in my sophomore year of high school. So I was super tiny. And Pronger is already just in general super tall, and I remember he was the first pro hockey player that I really met, saw, and talked to, and I was just in awe over the guy. But yeah, it just, the Blues weren't a good team, and when you're a kid, you just follow whoever's winning the championships, whoever is because that's what you're doing. So I like the Devils. I liked following Brodeur and all that, and then Dallas was winning the cup, so I was I like Dallas. Then I started liking the Avalanche because they were getting good.
Yeah.
But then it was when the rivalry started with the Avalanche and the Red Wings, and they were really going at